There's something you haven't realized yet, and once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. You think you're living your life, making decisions, moving forward, becoming someone new, but you're not. You're repeating the same thoughts, the same reactions, the same emotional patterns, over and over and over again. And the worst part? It feels like you. That's the trap. Because when something feels like you stop questioning it, you trust it, you defend it, you build your identity around it. But what if I told you that most of what you call yourself is just a collection of patterns? Patterns you didn't choose, patterns you absorbed, patterns you repeated so many times, they became automatic. Let's slow this down, because this is where everything starts to break. Think about your daily life, the way you react to stress, the way you handle money, the way you deal with people, the way you talk to yourself. You think you're choosing those things, but you're not. You're recognizing a pattern and replaying it, like a script. That's already been written, and you're just acting it out. That's why you feel stuck, not because you're lazy, not because you lack discipline, not because you don't want more, but because your brain is wired for familiarity. It doesn't want what's better, it wants what's known, even if what's known is pain, even if what's known is struggle, even if what's known is failure. Because to your brain, familiar, blind, safe, and unfamiliar, that's danger. So every time your life starts to change, every time you get close to something new, something better, something different, you feel it, that discomfort, that hesitation, that urge to slow down, to overthink, to pull back, and you don't understand why. You tell yourself, I'm not ready. This isn't the right time. Something feels off. But what you're actually feeling is not intuition. It's resistance. Resistance to the unfamiliar. Because your brain is trying to protect you from something it doesn't recognize. Even if that thing is exactly what you need. And this is where it gets dangerous. Because if you don't see this pattern, you will live your entire life thinking you're making progress, while staying exactly where you are. Same mindset, same habits, same results, just with different details, different days, different situations, but the same core. And that's why people feel like, I've been working so hard, but nothing changes. Because effort doesn't break patterns, awareness does. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more discipline. You don't need another strategy. You need to see what's actually running your life. Because once you see the pattern, you have a choice. Before that, you don't. You're just reacting. Let's go deeper. Most people believe they want success. They say it, they think it, they chase it. But when success starts to get close, they sabotage it. Why? Because success feels unfamiliar, and struggle feels like home. That's why you keep going back, not because you want to fail, but because your identity is built around what you've always known. And your brain will always choose identity over improvement, always. Because changing your life means changing who you are, and that feels like losing yourself. So you stay in the same habits, the same thinking, the same identity, even if it hurts, even if it limits you, even if it keeps you stuck. Because at least it feels like you, and that's the real problem. You're not building a life, you're performing one, performing the version of yourself that your past created, repeating it, protecting it, defending it, without ever questioning it. And this is where everything changes, because once you realize this, you can't go back. You start noticing it everywhere, every reaction, every excuse, every hesitation. You start seeing the pattern, and when you see the pattern, you can interrupt it. And that's the beginning of change. Not motivation, not discipline, awareness. Because the moment you pause and say, this is just a pattern, you create space. And in that space, you can choose something different. Not comfortable, not familiar, but different. And that's where your real life starts. Not in repetition, but in awareness. Not in comfort, but in conscious choice. And once you step into that, even once, you realize something powerful. You were never stuck. You were just repeating, and now you don't have to.